Good day guys, this is Rulex from Trivium Guild. So today I will be sharing to you my Gunslinger pistol PvP build. Enjoy! So first off guys, here are my basic attributes overview. I have 474,000 HP, 24,400 attack, 42% physical penetration, 37% skill damage increase, 129% attack, 89.7% physical damage increase. Now for my stat allocation, I maxed out Agi and Dex. Dex for range attack, Agi for Desperado damage, which will be my main damage skill, and the rest on Vit for survivability. So you can interchange Vit and Agi depending on your preference. Now let's go to my armor, my equipment. For my offhand slot, I have Plastine Hellion bracelet. You can aim for an ancient equipment, Bone Flute, with 18% physical damage max. For enchant, you can aim for max penetration of 6%. And then I slotted my offhand with Mark card, as this is my go-to card for this particular slot. For my armor, I have ancient equipped Voodoo armor plus 10. I would want this to have the max penetration of 15%. So out of all the physical DPS ancient armors, I chose Voodoo armor since my penetration percent is relatively low compared to my attack percent and damage increase percent. You can aim to have an enchant of range attack plus 10%, like so. And then I slotted my armor with Chimera card. You can always slot it with other cards like Angeling, Ghost Ring, Tara Frog, Lokabi, and other armor cards depending on the situation. Now let's go to the garment card, the garment equipment. So for my garment, I have White Duke's Mantle. This is for the skill damage and the ignore death. You can enchant it with HP percent or PDI depending on your preference. And then I slotted mine with Or Zombie card, as this is my go-to card for the slot. I would want to aim for the Toadstar card, but it's kinda hard to snap at the moment. So for my foot gear, I have St. Mary's cloth shoes plus 12. This is for the bonus healing and the attack percent. You can enchant it with PDI percent or max HP depending on your preference. So I slotted mine with Headgear card, as this is my favorite card for this particular slot. It will be very good in diving, you won't get flinched. As an alternative, you can also have Moonlight Star card, Moonlight Flower Star card for increased movement speed, as the Gunslinger class is quite slow. Now for my accessories, I have 2 Dog Servant at plus 13. So if you're wondering why plus 13, other than I can't get it to plus 15, I made it to plus 13 just because it will enable me to make use of my anvil upgrade, maximum anvil upgrade, which will increase my refine attack. That's very effective in PvP, take note. So my enchant, I have a physical damage increase of almost max percent, 3.9 for both. And then I started my accessories with Horong Star card for sight and Moonlight Thunderlun card for additional skill damage. Now let's go to my weapon. So for my weapon, I have Gold Law Enforcer, which is the best for Desperado build. As an alternative, you can also go for Inferno Pistol for demi-human bonuses and bleed attack percentage. I enchant mine with physical damage increase instead of range attack because I feel like I want to balance my physical damage increase with my attack percent, as my attack percent is quite high already. And I slotted my weapon with 2 Freoni cards to increase the hit, as well as increase the skill damage, which is one of the very important damage multipliers. Now let's go to for my headgear. I'm wearing Eggshell View. This is the best headgear for me so that I won't have to worry about broken equipment So I slotted mine with Orc Hero card to avoid getting stunned. But as an alternative, you can go for this armor here, Combat Warfare armor with stun resist of plus 50%, and then mix it up with Oracle Mirror activating Death Cut armor for stun resist additional 50%. Please take note, you can't activate Meteorite armor while you're equipping the Comet armor, as they are both the same equipment. Now let's go to my other headgears. So for my face slot, I'm wearing monoculars to increase my demi-human damage. I also enchant it with physical damage increase. As an alternative, you can go for the alchemy beak, which will be helpful for your teammates so that they will also increase their damage. So for my mouth slot, I have light food for skill damage increase, and SP restoration will be a little bit useful later on. So for my back slot, I have Ratgesi Fallen Feather. This is a well-balanced headgear, and it will also trigger Lex during skill, especially in Carnage Capiora, my main damage skill. You can also replace this with Starlight Sweetie for additional control. Let me get back to the headwear slot. You can also slot it with other cards like Mentalist card, Marduk card, Nightmare card, and Igira Star card, which will also give you another form of disruption or control. Now, for my tail slot, I have Panel Guardian, which will also give me additional skill damage increase at 2% and decrease my skill delay, which is very important. And then I enchanted it with physical damage increase. Now let's go to my adventure handbook. A quick run through. I have about 78,000 HP, 3,000 attack, 69% attack percentage, and 20% damage against demi-human. And then a quick run through with my blessing and prayers. I have almost a maximum prayer to Goddess, except for my Def and M-Def. And then these are my blessing. I have almost maxed it out already too. Now let's move on to our skill point allocation. So for the Gunslinger skill tree, it will be very straightforward. Please don't get the spells for rifle class. So you max out Fallen Angel. This will be one of your most important spells. This will be your in and out spell. It will also reload your bullets once you get the third line from your runes. Your situational spell will be Warning Shot for fear, and then Bulletproof Armor for survivability, depending on your preference. And then you will max out Smoke Bomb, as this will be one of your hiding spells. Please take note, it will heal 15% of max HP once you use this. And then you will not be able to attack once you are under the effect of this spell. You will not be able to use your main spell, Carnage Capiora, but you will still be able to use Execution, Bounty, and Bloodbrand. Now, for this passive, Alert, you may or may not max this out. You may ask why. So, I won't max it out because I won't be using the reload at all. I've put it in off mode because I've noticed that once you use this in the middle of a team fight, you will be a sitting duck. I prefer to use Fallen Angel as my reloading spell. You will also be maxing out Pistol Mastery for obvious reasons. Now for the Rebellion skill tree, you will max out Desperado, as this will be the basis for your damage of Carnage Capiora. And then max out Takeover, another hiding spell. Then max out Bloodbrand. This will be one of the important spells in tracking those pesky hiding classes like assassins, stalkers, and ninjas, as well as those who use smoky card. And then two-sided coin will be your main buff spell, but please take note of this spell. It has a cast time. This will be detrimental to you if you'll be debuffed by CMs or ABs. That will increase your cast time, so be careful in using this spell. Now moving on to the Tyrant skill tree. Obviously I've maxed this all out, but if you're having a hard time maxing it out, please ignore this part of the skill tree related to the rifle class. Carnage Capiora will be your main damage spell, and then Fire Rain. This will be your area cancelling spell. You will be able to cancel Earth Field, other ninja fields, other AoE spells that are ground based. Your main damage buff will be from Rage of Tyrant. Please take note, its duration is only 15 seconds. And Platinum Era, this will be your main defensive spell. Right before you go into a team fight, please use this. Don't worry, even if it consumes all your bullets, once you enter a team fight, please go in with Fallen Angel, and you will have already maxed bullets by that time. So let's talk about the reason for my auto skill slot and manual skill slot. So for my auto skill slot, I put Blood Brand there. I usually turn it off and on depending on the situation, or depending on if someone's hunting my team, or if we're hunting someone who is very elusive. And then for my manual skill slot, I have a defensive skill slot and a offensive skill slot. So for my offensive skill slot, I have Fallen Angel as my main spell, and then Carnage Capiora, my main damage spell, and Fire Rain as my ground cancelling spell, and then Bounty and Execution, as well as Warning Shot for situational purposes. And then for my defensive spell, I would still have Fallen Angel, so this will be the common spell for both slots. And then I will have Prepare for Elite. My Prepare for Elite contains Sight from my Horror card, and then my buff spell, two-sided coin, Rage of Tyrant, and Fire on Full Power, which we'll discuss later on with the runes. And then I'll have my Platinum Era, my very important spell, my very important defensive spell. So the good thing about this is it has no HP cap. And then I have my Smoke Bomb, my Take Cover as my hiding spells, and lastly my Stay Calm as my PvP spell. Now let's talk about the runes in relation to the spells. So I have Tactical Maneuver with third line unlock. Fallen Angel gets fully reloaded after a sprint, so this will be my reloading spell. I have a Trigger Happy rune. It gives you the skill Fire on Full Power, as I mentioned a while ago. So while using this spell, you won't be consuming any bullets. As for me, for 18 seconds, I won't be consuming any bullets. That's pretty good. You also lower your shooting and grenade skill CD time. So this means less CD time, more damage. And then Flight Fire Shooting Star rune with third line unlock. This will be one of your main damage spells. And then we have Potent Hormone rune, which triggers Adrenaline automatically. This is carved because it has a requirement of 2 blue runes. And then we have Massacre Bloom rune, which is one of your damage runes too. So third line unlock is when you use Fallen Angel, it will perform a Desperado once at the destination. It will be another booster DPS. I also carved this because it doesn't require it requires 2 red runes. So in relation to potent hormone rune, I had to carve it. And lastly, I have a cheating technique rune, which has a third unlock of receiving the front and back effects of two-sided coin. So this will be a good rune for our buff, our main buff. So yeah, that's about it. Like and subscribe, guys, if you enjoyed it, and comment below if you have any questions or you want to talk about something, you have any suggestions. Thank you guys for your time.